Right, John?
Yeah.
Okay, hi there. I promised you something on the split entry. Just to give you a reminder, from the side, punch, bang, from behind, punch, the other punch please, bang, as seen from here, bang, as seen from the other half, bang. Okay. And I already showed in the last video in the primer that we can do this easily from the punch drill. You do a couple of punch drills and then you insert a forward step and cover here. Now the first thing, where do we want to hit? We want to hit from the shoulder to the head. This is like a funnel. So we have a really big area to hit, and each of these areas comparatively makes sense. If we hit here on the collarbone, we can at least, if we really go forward with all our body weight, give a little shell shock to the system, maybe break the collarbone. If we don't make it to the collarbone, we may be getting in this side of the neck where there is a carotid artery, plus the carotid artery reflex that could be triggered. In other words, this is one of the fastest and most secure knockout moves. We cannot, and nobody can, condition ourselves here, and the famous chop to the side, as known by many, this is the same effect. If we pull forward with a full body weight and then snap back, and if we don't make it here, we may enter here in the jaw, or even in the jaw joint, or at the temple. So, this whole thing, again, punch drill, punch drill. Mm-hmm. When we get in, stop, we don't exactly know where, please leave the hand away so that I can show, thanks. We don't know where we land, but we will land somewhere in here. Now, when we practice this, make sure for the practice to land with a soft muscle side. When we do it actually with combat, we use the blade of our forearm, this hardened bone. But when we do practice, punch drill, we come in with a soft, because we don't want to injure or hurt our partner. Now you have already seen that her instinct is to block me here, and you have seen how little good it does her. So this is very difficult to stop for the opponent. The only thing, make an evasion step to the side once I do it, thank you. Step, is that she makes an evasion step which would offer me different traps. So you see, from the split entry we have a lot of stuff that could be done, and I didn't even do anything to get this trap. It offered itself just out of what she was doing. Now the other thing is we have not only the punch drill. Give me a hammer. Again we go through a couple of rounds. I always do 3 rounds. And again I go for the punch drill, for the split entry here. Now how do I do that? You see, I have the wedging intercept, I have the undercut, I have my elbow control, and now, you see my elbow is still up, I want to tuck it in anyway. I drill in from underneath. This is always accompanied with a forward step so that I bring my full body mass to bear. I don't want to hit her with my arm. I only hit with the arms, and the arms alone if there is really no alternative. So again, hammer. Very slowly so that everybody sees what is going on. Now I'm coming. This is almost an uppercut motion. If I really don't miss and I get the uppercut, that is okay. If I get her here, that is still okay. And if I get her here where I intend, that is also okay. What can I do once I have this shell shock and potential knockout? I can turn, let's turn it like this, You see the hand here. Now I can turn my body on my feet and my hips and take her head with me, pressing down, getting a kind of slap down, which is a primitive form of takedown. I can also do this, take something and go into an arm break. Again, what could I... Thank you. Now I just turn, she is blocking me, and I use the energy of the block, turn back, go to here, even if the arm is not broken. Now this gives me the perfect position for a kote gaishi, known from Aikido, which I here just hint at because my wife does not know how to deal with that. But you know out there in martial arts land just how much pain compliance we get. And since we get it from here, of course we don't do it in the wrong fashion that I do here just to show. We can easily do it from here using the complete hip turn, and you know that she either jumps or has a broken wrist. What else could be done from the hammer? Yeah. We could go for something very neat. Go in here, grab her, go in here and start hammering her. You see, one of the Gracie brothers do this in the octagon with one of his opponents. Of course, they don't go there from the Hubud drill, but basically what he does is he gets blocked, goes behind, takes the arm, goes really toward, and then starts pounding the other guy. This is more a mixed martial arts application, but it is absolutely street valid. Now let us see how easily this could be taught. Punch drill. Stop. Make this step forward and slam this in here. The arm bent like this. Exactly. Do this a few times, please. Okay, yes, perfect. Yes? No. You are still learning the move. And as you see, although we have a little difficulties just with the artistic directorship, the technical move is actually very easy for her. You see? Exactly. And you see also what she does. She is smaller than me and she adapted exactly to an elbow. And whoever received an elbow down in the armpit knows just how painful that is. So, it can be adapted to different heights. For me, it is obviously better bearing down, crushing down on her. Doing the elbow might end me just in empty air. She cannot crush down on me, but she does it with the elbow and gets the perfect result. So, now do a couple of rounds in the punch drill, and then, if you see fit, suddenly get it going. You see? Not difficult. And this is a split entry with an elbow, adapted and adaptable to her shorter frame. She must go in more and use the elbow. Also, since she doesn't have the power in the arms to withhold this, she is well advised to do the elbow. And the beauty of this is this was non-rehearsed. She learned this just now live, and she immediately adapted to the elbow. And that is one of the beauties of regularly doing the Hubud drill. It allows you to adapt to situations even if you haven't seen them or encountered them before, and do the right thing for your body frame. And that is why I so much emphasize the importance of Hubud. It allows you to adapt to situations you have never seen before. Now let us come from below some of this Hubud stuff and see if we can go split entry from there. And as you can see, we can go split entry. we have the arm here, we go in split entry here. She could slap me up from here. I would go in here and still have nasty things to do. And just imagine her hand here versus my elbow banging here. So, even if this is not a knockout, this is some bang, and just imagine, see the hyperextension of the arm, what I could do if I now make a snap step and really turn my hip sharply. This would result in a broken arm. So we can also do it from below. A notable exception is this drill. I don't know of any easy way to get into a split entry from here. You see, there she has got me and has a good defense because now she can chop me, and that's it. So there is no easy way to get to a split entry from here. So the split entry is not made when we find ourselves in something akin to this. The other drills, the hammer and wedge drill allows for it. The punch drill. Now this would be the okay, yeah, okay, go for it. The low line hubud allows for it, and the punch drill also allows for it. Now for some of the techniques, again in detail, because much of it rests on the initial impact. So you see me doing this standing here, and then I do what is known in the Sanchin form of karate, what is known in Bangai Nun, in Wing Chun, in Southern Praying Mantis, in Bai Mai, this kind of step. Together with this body structure. My elbow is in, my whole body structure comes. This is the angle where the arm bends very difficult or at all. So we do our stuff, and now step, drag, go in, slightly turn. And this brings my whole body mass and a certain torque to bear. And after we got this shell shock in, depending on the energy she is giving, if she is staggering back, then I will certainly just go forward. You see that now her complete structure is gone, and I can start kneeing, I can start going for a double Nelson, for a Nelson type takedown, or known as Buddha Kapala in the Indonesian arts. I could go for all that very easily just because her structure is destroyed. Let's say the shell shock doesn't work and she's still up and kicking. Then I want to get out of the way and go for some of these leverages. This doesn't require much of me except for a circling step back, turning the hips, going in here. And if that doesn't work and she's still coming with a punch, then I'm going again back, going for the kotegation. And if that doesn't work, for something like here. But that comes later when we go into the flowing. The main thing is we have, if the shell shock works, forward energy. If it doesn't work, a kind of circling out energy. Of course, I could use this as well with the grip change, another step, and the figure 4. It is still circling back, and we could use this, if nothing else works, as just a dragging down, having control over the head here, and either going into grappling or again doing some Nelson. You see? And I know I'm bigger and stronger than her, but I assure you this has only to do with structure. And her laughing ensures that no tracking partners get hurt in the making of this movie. Now let us see how well she does with learning the Buddha Kapala, just so that you have something to laugh about me. Punch drill. Insert. Yeah, step with the other leg. Okay. Now insert this. Yes. Draw my head down and turn me like this. Yes, 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 yes. And I will let go of the arm. But, oh, there, she kicked my ass. Did you see that? She kicked my ass. Again. My wife kicks my ass. Insert. Step with the right foot. Wrap my head. Yes. Turning. Keep the arm. And no. Turn me, father. Make a step. To here. Yes. Okay. Now you will see. Yeah, you let her do it. True, I let her do it because she is learning the motion. But again, what you saw was this was the first time of her ever doing it. And yes, it needs refinement. But you see, out of the Hubud drill, it was not really difficult for her. And it was not frustrating. You heard her laughing. Nobody was frustrated, hurt or injured, except for my humble pride. Okay, now this was some ideas to the split entry. Of course, there is other stuff for the split entry. That is the Güntings. There is the inside Günting. This is also a split entry. Obviously coming from the knife culture. So imagine for a moment that my mobile phone is a knife where I cut her biceps. And if I don't have a knife handy, we can go punch drill. Inside Günting. Also, since I'm on the inside, this is a split entry still. And maybe results in dead or lame arm, and then I can still go forward for the shell shock. So this is just some ideas on the split entry. Now I also want to hint at something completely different. Das, was wir heute gemacht haben, langsam eingegriffen hast. Where she attacks me first in a fixed pattern. Angle number 1, angle number 2, angle number 3, angle number 4. And yes, I know that as fighting techniques, these suck, but this is just what the feeder does. I mean, holding my focus mitt like this, if I had focus mitts, would suck as a fighting technique as well. So this is the feeding pattern she gives me, and what I do is nothing else but being on the defensive. So what you see slower, you start this out very slowly, because what you want is to learn just to get. Now you do it with one hand, and in a moment you will see why. Also, So, as you can see, this is just an exercise for reflexes that is started very slow, because we want to learn how to react to a constant flurry of attacks and to the change of levels. This is up level, this is lower level, and they are constantly changing. So now you see, I do the lower attacks with my left hand, the upper attacks with my right hand. Now I have the right hand in the guard, and so forth. So this is just variations. Now I do it the other way around. And of course, and now you attack just like you wish. You see, this can pick up pace. And of course you would say, she doesn't even hit him. No, she can't hit me. This is supposed to be an exercise to get the reflexes going. Once you can do this really stress-free. You go a little faster, you go a little more in. The whole point of this drill is that when we only do upper hand drills, and suddenly she shoots in a lower attack, a deep attack, maybe I miss it because I don't have the necessary reflex, the exercise to get down here. And this is specifically there to address the changes in upper and lower line, and you want to start it slow because you don't want to have all the stress of I don't want to get hit, I don't want to get hit, what's going on, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck. You don't want that stress when you learn the stuff. So you learn from a distance where I have no stress whatsoever to get hit. You see, I can't really hit her. Even though I have longer arms, I don't hit her. So she has no stress whatsoever. If she does it, she can use whatever her preferred method of defense is. As you can see, she prefers the wedge over the slapping hand, but that is okay because she just gets used to using her favorite defense. And of course, first of all, we start with a fixed pattern so that we can get used to the stuff. And I can assure you she has done some conditioning on her forearms. This takes a toll on me. She is not so nice to me as I am to her. She is developing a punch, I can tell you. And you also see, yeah, sometimes you get caught, and you also see, for the moment we just do number 1, number 2, number 3 and number 4. And for the beginning we omit the number 5 angle. That will be inserted later. And the whole point is just to get used to it, to the level changes and the changes in the different angles of attack when they continuously come in. And obviously, if we do this, come again, feeden. Also from below. Okay, you see, this also helps when an unexpected attack comes. And this is again where the hubud comes in. You cannot plan for this. So just because I have an understanding of the lines, I could come up with something like this. I fear, and my wife as well, we are in too ridiculous a mood to continue with some serious filmmaking. Also, my daughter clearly signals that she gets bored just watching us. So, thank you for holding the camera. Thank you for watching, people. I hope, despite the laughing and despite the complete makeshift nature of this video, you took something out of it and learned from it. And this is just for the anticipation and to show off what may come in the future. I may perhaps introduce a little form that I developed. And how to use that. Tell me what you think, if you're interested in the form or if you think it's complete crap. If you're interested, we will go into that as well. And the next thing will be a continuation of the regular path of the complete hubud. This with the split entry was because I promised it and because I want you to keep your promises. So this is more a sidetrack to the complete hubud as of now. The next clip, I don't know yet when or what about. But there is still lots of ground to cover with the basics. But although basics are golden, I think every now and then we should do something about applications. And this was some ideas on how to apply it. As you can see, you need to be good at this kind of turn. If you want to go into applications, these mini steps and these turns are absolutely essential, otherwise you won't be able to pull anything off, because this brings your body weight to bear, otherwise it's just your arms. And nobody's arms are strong enough. As a rule, general rule for combat, no one is ever strong enough. Okay, cut.